It's time for an Out and About with Jamie Grout podcast, and this time we'll be chatting with incoming mayor for Grinnell, Sam Cox. And we had a great, lively conversation about her goals, her expectations of becoming mayor of Grinnell at St. Rest's Coffee House, her place that she owns and has for a number of years in downtown Grinnell. And we'll get to that in just a couple moments. But first, a word from our sponsors and our presenting sponsor that signed up for another year of sponsorship on the podcast, Grinnell State Bank. And first of all, they want to congratulate a lady who's been working for them for a number of years, Carla Kriegel, who has been with them for 46 years working for Grinnell State Bank, and she retired on August 30th. Carla joined the bank after she graduated from high school and was an integral part of the customer service department, retiring as the customer service manager at Grinnell State Bank. So they want to congratulate her on all her years of customer service, and they want you to know that Santa Claus is coming to their Polk City branch on Friday, December 5th from 6 p.m. till 8 p.m., and again, that'll be for the Light Up Polk City celebration at City Hall. He'll also be in Polk City on Saturday, December 6th, and that'll be from 9 a.m. till 11 a.m. at the Savings Bank, and also Saturday, December 6th, from 10 a.m. till 1 p.m. at Grinnell State Bank. So stop in there also. So lots of appearances with Santa Claus in Polk City at their branch there at Grinnell State Bank. Another sponsor who supplies a prize or two for our Sunday morning Out and About with Jamie Grout podcast trivia is B. Nicole Salon, located right next to the Chamber of Commerce in downtown Grinnell. And boy, is it growing. They've got a couple new folks adding to their list of employees there at B. Nicole Salon. Jessie Smith is there now, and she's looking for new customers, and she'd love to have you stop on in and say hi. She's booking new customers, and she says, hey, whether it's braids, twists, or a clean, protective look, she's got you. Slots are filling up fast. Book your hair appointment now, and let's get you looking flawless at Grinnell State Bank. Stop on in or give them a call and get Jessie Smith ready to do your hair at Grinnell State Bank. And also they have a new cosmetologist at B. Nicole Salon too. Her name is Brandy, and she's been a licensed cosmetologist in Iowa since January of 2010, but she's new to B. Nicole Salon, and she'd love to cut, style, and perm your hair, and this is what her salon experience will provide to the community. So stop on in and meet Brandy at Grinnell State Bank. And also St. Rest's Coffee House, and this is where I did the podcast with Sam Cox, and they have happy hour from 5 till 7 o'clock. Bring a friend and get a BOGO deal. Buy one, get one half off. Great atmosphere, free internet too at St. Rest's Coffee House. And try their monster cookies that they have. They're delicious. I tried the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup chocolate chip cookie. Oh, it was absolutely delicious. And you'll love them too. Sam and the crew are happy to give those out as a podcast trivia sponsorship every Sunday morning too, as part of Out and About with Jamie Grout podcast trivia also on Sunday. So get in on those too. And I want to thank once again all our sponsors for Out and About with Jamie Grout podcast trivia and sponsoring the Grinnell portion of our show. It's time for another Out and About with Jamie Grout podcast, and we're at St. Rest's Coffee House in Grinnell, and I'm talking to the proprietor of that place, Sam Cox, who is the mayor-elect of Grinnell, and I had the opportunity to speak to her as she was running for mayor, and now she is the mayor-elect of Grinnell. And Sam, I thought about this question as I was on my way over, and maybe I ask you this when you're running for mayor, but I'm going to ask you this question again, possibly. What made you decide you wanted to run for mayor of Grinnell?
Well, thank you for having me, Jamie. It's really good to see you again. I appreciate you making the trek over here. It was really about timing for me. This is something I'd been interested in for a little bit. As you said, 3 years ago, I ran for state senate. And so it really came down to Mayor Dan Agnew was not going to run again, and he was going to retire. So that was kind of a piece of my puzzle. And my business is in a place where I have a lot more freedom and a lot more flexibility. So I have that opportunity to really be able to step away more when I need to. And so it was just a really good time for me to stand up and be able to be involved and serve our community at this time in my life.
So what are some of your goals?
I mean, so this is a big learning curve, right? I've never done anything like this before. So I've already, started attending the meetings and gone to like the different like department meetings and things like that, and trying to like just kind of find a groove there. But I just want to really be the voice and the eyes and the ears for our community. I want to be an accessible mayor that's here to have those conversations, be them difficult or easy, and then be able to take that information in my role and help work with the city council and the city staff in order to keep Grinnell moving in the right direction.
Okay. Before the election, I know that there was another city government seat that was open besides the one for mayor, and that was the one that John Cox ended up winning.
Yes.
No relation, by the way.
No relation.
And his big concern were the streets in his ward because a school is being built, from what I understand. Have you had a chance to look into that or talk to John about his concerns?
So I technically live on the street that John's talking about, but I live on the west side of the highway. So he's really talking about like from like the highway all the way down to Penrose, going along 10th Avenue, and how that kind of like one dissects the college. And there isn't a sidewalk that runs all the way through there, and there isn't great lighting that runs all the way through there. The college is very well lit, and they've actually added lighting in the last several years, but there are some other places. And even my street is dark for a couple of blocks. So we kind of shared like the same, what we both wanted to see happen. And I wanted to see more sidewalks so that Grinnell is a more walkable town. And there aren't sidewalks that go consistently like from like 8th Ave, 10th Ave, 11th Ave that go all the way from one side of town to the other, which makes it a little more accessible for people. I wanted there to be more sidewalks like going out to Hy-Vee. There is a sidewalk that goes all the way out to Walmart, but then you're asking people to go out on that sidewalk and then cross a busy highway to get back to Hy-Vee if that's what they want to do. So for me, it's about accessibility and safety as well. Like, so just more sidewalks in Grinnell. And for him, it was about providing a more like efficient and safe place for kids to walk and parents like down to the new school. So I agree with him that we need some more lighting and more accessible like walking paths for people to get around Grinnell in the main areas for sure.
You guys think you can find a compromise somewhere in that?
I hope so. And I think that's probably always going to be on the horizon. Like once they decided to the land was donated and they decided and it passed the vote and that's where they were going to put a school. I think they absolutely will, had probably already thought about at least peripherally, like needing another sidewalk that goes all the way out there so kids can walk. There's going to have to be more crosswalks that cross over to Penrose. Penrose has a nice sidewalk that runs down it, but they're going to have to do things so that it's safer for children, right, and pedestrians to get to that location. And I can't imagine that Grinnell did not already see that like as something that was needed.
So, I've spoken to President Ann Harris of Grinnell College before too, and I hope to have another podcast with her at some point. But she really talks a lot about the connection between Grinnell College and the city of Grinnell. Do you have any plans to try to enhance that relationship?
Yeah, so actually one of the first meetings I had a meeting with the people over at the city offices. Like I had a meeting with them just trying to understand like what they thought my role as mayor was. And then I also reached out to the college and had a meeting with someone at the college, Monica Silva, to understand like what would they like to see from me as a mayor and how could I be helpful in helping to create and foster and build those relationships. So, I mean, Grinnell College is such a huge part of who we are as a city and also a huge part of our success as a city. For me and, my personal relationships, like I obviously own a coffee shop, and so I get to meet a lot of students and a lot of family through that. And I'm so incredibly fortunate and blessed to be able to like have so many interactions and build those relationships. I would just hope that, everybody in Grinnell would give them an opportunity and give them a chance to see what a positive impact they have on us. So yeah, absolutely. I want to be super involved and I want to be like in those conversations and, do whatever I can to help foster and grow the relationship between the city of Grinnell and Grinnell College even more.
And we talked about this too when you were running for mayor, and it's mostly a ceremonial role, but at the same time, as mayor, you can cheerlead for different projects.
Sure.
And so what would those be?
Right. Like, so, you and I have talked about that also. Again, those plans are really laid out by the city staff. Like they are the ones that are in communication with what is needed in Grinnell. They see the needs, like they hear from the community. So the city staff, Russ Barons, they're the ones that like are looking at those needs, and they change, right? They change every quarter, they change every 6 months, they change every year. So they have different plans like that are already in the works to like what can we do to improve Grinnell. And so that of course is like the new water treatment plant. That is of course the new Parks and Rec plan that we're doing to like do park improvement. So if I were to have like any kind of pet project, we all know that I'm a large animal advocate. And if I were able to do anything, I'm sure I'm going to like try to do something that's going to better the lives of the community and their pets as well.
Mm-hmm. And from what I understand, speaking of which, PALS gets no support from the city of Grinnell.
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah. Would you be an advocate for supporting PALS?
Personally, I am an advocate for supporting PALS.
But you know where I'm going with this.
Yes. Professionally, I don't, again, in the learning curve that I'm in, I'm not sure like what I can do. But the answer is it's certainly something that I would support and that I would want to see us as a community, because it's such a needed, rescue is such a needed part of Grinnell, Iowa. There's so many like feral cats in Grinnell, Iowa. There's so many dogs that unfortunately get lost or are abandoned. So I think it's an important part of the community, and I would support that. Okay. And that's also something I would drive for.
Okay, so as mayor, could you propose something like that to the city council?
I don't think as mayor I can propose that. I think as mayor I could certainly like ask if it's something that we can do, like just as a community member, like we need to do more for the pets in our community. What can we do more for the pets in our community? Such as the dog park that we built, which was long overdue, and we needed it, and they've been working on that. As a mayor, like that is certainly quote unquote my pet project would be animal advocacy. It's definitely on my peripheral, and it's definitely something that I would like the city of Grinnell to at least listen to.
Okay, and we talked about the Parks and Rec and improvements and things like that. Have you seen those plans, and what are your thoughts on that?
I've seen those plans. Oh my gosh, those plans are about 1.5 inches thick. I read through them to the best of my ability. That a lot of them are a little bit more complex than even I can kind of understand. But from what I can see, it looks like a really lovely and well thought out plan. Like I like what they're doing with Nyanza. Nyanza is a very shallow lake, so they're proposing a marsh program there with like a boardwalk, and I think that could be really cool. And I think they put a lot of time and effort into developing this program, and I think what they're doing is going to be an improvement.
I know you're a big advocate for the business community, especially the downtown area. And again, you're in a cheerleader role for that. What would you like to see happen for the business district in downtown Grinnell?
I was just driving by today, and I saw that another building was empty that had recently been filled, like even just a few months ago. It had a couple of little businesses in there, and now it's empty and it's for rent. So I think we need to figure out a way that we can be supportive to bringing in new businesses. Like how can we as a city offer some incentives to help people that want to open a new business or bring their new business to Grinnell? What can we do to help make that, to like lessen that burden? What can we do to help them, be more successful? How can we like give them some guarantees or more support in order to get them there? So, that's big. We just need more storefronts filled, and we need it filled with diverse options.
Right. I work at WHO, and we've had people call up, and especially when the issue of property taxes come up, that have been in tears because the property taxes are so high, they're scared they're going to lose their house. And you're a business owner, you pay property taxes here, I'm sure. You're probably a homeowner.
Yep.
And again, you're a cheerleader, but is there anything that you would like to see the city do or be able to do to help in that regard?
I think as a city, we're a little, to my understanding, we are a little hand-tied because a lot of those things are set in place at a state level. So it's what can we affect on a state level? Who can we talk to at a state level to say, are there some changes that we can make, in order for us to recoup more monies for some of the services that we're offering. And then, a lot of those taxes, like we only get a certain percentage of that, and then the other of it's going to go to county, and then it's going to go to state. So is everybody willing, to take a step back? But the answer is you have to be able to pay for the services that you receive, right? We need the services that Grinnell is providing. Like we just had a great conversation about like the fire department and the ambulance service that we provide, and it's doing very well, and it's making progress. They're getting more calls, so they're growing. But then you look at like, what kind of return are we getting on that? Where are we getting the funding from? Is it from the state? Is it federal? And so again, property taxes on a local level, I think is always a question. And I think the city is definitely looking at it from the meetings that I've been in, but also it's affected at a state level. So that's the direction I think we have to go.
So the next question, have you had a chance to look at the budget, and is there any place in the budget that you think has too much fat that can be cut out?
I have not had a chance to look at the budget. The budget meetings are in February, and they are a week-long meeting. So that'll be the first time that I get to see like the numbers of like what was really happening. And again, another learning curve for me, because that's a lot of numbers and a lot of math that are coming at me that I need to be able to break down and make sure that I understand it. So for me to be able to say that there's a place for us to like cut expenses, I'm not in a position to say I'm ready for that.
Okay.
So February, ask me in March.
Okay, we'll talk to you in March. I'll have to come back and talk to you. So are you going to be going to a lot of ribbon cuttings and things like that as mayor?
Yeah, I'm super excited to be involved in that. Like we do make a lot of public appearances wherever, the city or the community wants me to be. Clearly I'm going to be there. I'm going to be attending the Power Chic Emergency Management System. That's going to be in Malcolm in a couple of weeks. So that's a meeting for mayors in Power Chic County, and then a lot of other people that are on the board. So Ryan Paul is running that, and I'll be going to that in Malcolm. And then we have a celebration of Dan Agnew and Jim White. I believe that's on the 19th of December. And then we've got a Christmas party for the city staff on the 18th. So yeah, I'm just going to be kind of popping up all over the place, and just I'm going to become a more familiar face.
So let's talk a little bit about Dan Agnew.
Yeah.
One of my first podcasts was with the mayor who'll be stepping down, Dan Agnew, and I know he was in charge of Grinnell Mutual for a number of years.
Yes.
And he's quite a guy. Maybe you could say a few things about him as mayor, and your thoughts on his tenure as the mayor of Grinnell for so many years.
I mean, I think that Dan is just such a wonderful human being. I think he does have a heart for service. He's been super grateful. He reached out to me by phone like the day after, I won the election, and congratulated me and just said, if there's anything that I can do, like just let me know, we can have a meeting. And then I went to my first meeting, and he and I kind of went and toured the building. He gave me a great little binder this week at our other meeting, like just kind of going through like all of the boards and things like that. And I've known him my entire life. Like his son is just a year behind me in high school. Hi, Chad. So he's a year behind me. And I see him every time he's in town. And again, they're just lovely, wonderful people. He and Nancy are just really great, grounded people. And so I think he did a wonderful job of helping, the city council and the staff work in Grinnell in the last 6 years or longer. I can't remember if he's been 3 terms or 2 terms, but he's just a solid guy.
So you're going to have to study that binder, aren't you?
I'm going to have to study that binder. Thankfully, I know how to get in touch with him, so I've got that going for me. And also like Jim White is a close family friend. Like he's just such a wonderful guy. He's stepping down after 40 years of service.
Wow.
He is obviously somebody that I can lean on and ask questions of as well. So I feel pretty comfortable in the fact that I'm going to be well supported in my learning process.
Speaking of getting in touch, if any of our listeners want to get in touch with you, if they have questions or concerns as the mayor, how can they do that, Sam?
Yeah, so I will be given an email address. I don't have it yet. I'm sorry. I would give it to you if I had it. If I get it, though, I'll text it to you.
Please do.
So that you'll have it. So at this point, really, the answer is this. You find me at Saints Rest. And I will say that several people have already found me at Saints Rest and come in with some wonderful questions or some wonderful ideas. And again, I'm here for that. I will be in the city offices in January, like mostly Mondays and Tuesdays will be the days that I'm there because they're my day off from work. But eventually I'll have an email address, and I'm sure that'll show up on the website for the city of Grinnell.
Are you ready for the calls about the potholes on the streets and
Ready.
the stop signs being put in their neighborhood and all that good
I'm
stuff?
ready. I might start pothole art. You never know. I might decide to just like take my dirt and plant some flowers. I've seen that in New York.
Okay, all
yeah,
right.
no, I'm ready. I'm ready for all of it.
Okay.
Again, and I'm happy to take this on, and I'm excited to take this on, and I just hope everybody understands that. Again, there is going to be a learning curve, but I don't mind, being corrected. I don't mind people offering me constructive criticism. Like, I'm going to do the best I can. And if you're ever either super happy with what I'm doing or feel like I could do something better, like, I'm here to have that conversation.
I think I can sum up what you just said in one word: patience.
Yes.
A little bit of patience.
Yeah.
And people aren't always the best with that, I know. But
Right.
I just want to congratulate you on your victory, and I'm looking forward to talking to you in the future as mayor of Grinnell, and get that email address to
Yeah.
me so I can pass that along to the listeners, and we'll talk again, like you say, maybe in March or
Yeah.
April about what you've learned about being mayor. And I'm very good friends with our outgoing mayor in Newton, Evelyn, and she's a wonderful lady, and I'm going to be doing a podcast with her on Friday. So
yeah.
I'm sure she can give you some tips.
Absolutely. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Again, I want to do the best that I can. But that means that I'm going to be listening a lot, and I'm okay with that.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate you. And Merry Christmas, everybody.
You betcha. Sam Cox, the mayor-elect of Grinnell, on Out and About with Jamie Grout. Until next time, Grout is out. See ya.